Hey, what's up, guys? People from Mike's channel are gonna be like, "Who is this dude? We don't even know him." But I'm his friend. My name is Jay, and Mike is sick, so I offered him to do a guest narration. And people who are coming from my channel, what's up? This is gonna be an upload for today. It's gonna be uploaded to my channel because um, Mike said he didn't want to transfer files over and over, and plus, I'll just upload it anyway because I need something to upload. So this is a grab bag match against him and some dude named Itz1201. It's a pretty cool nickname because time, or 1201. But yeah, it's gonna be in the title anyway. So I skipped through a lot of stuff, but he switches out his Skarmory on a Heatran because he doesn't want to take a fire move. He goes into his Snorlax because it has the thick fat, probably, and it can take Earth Powers because it's unstab. So it takes it really well because especially defensive and whatnot. So he breaks his sub just with an Earthquake, and since his sub is broken, and Heatran really can't do anything to Snorlax, he's going to switch out, go into his Flygon because it has Levitate and Levitators levitate, so that means ground types or ground type moves won't be doing anything to Levitators. So he's going to go for the Earthquake, and it does a very nice chunk because Snorlax doesn't have the best defenses or physical defense. And Mike is just going to go for a Body Slam, just maybe trying to get the para, but unfortunately he doesn't. And this is a Life Orb Flygon actually, which I don't see too much. I always see Choice Bandit or Choice Scarf Flygons. So Azelf is going to outspeed because it's not scarfed, and it's going to take him out with an Ice Punch. So Crobat is being, well, of course Crobat is faster than an Azelf, so Mike is going to switch out, but his opponent makes a very nice play, goes for the pursuit, and that's going to take Azelf to very low red, 4 HP actually. And his Heatran is still out, or still alive, so maybe his Heatran has Stealth Rocks. If it did, then Azelf would be pretty much useless and only be used as death fodder. But right now his opponent has a Kofa Grigus out, and it's set at 1 Calm Mind, but his Skarmory has Whirlwind, so that means he won't be scared of it because it can phase it out. And since rocks are up, Gyarados is going to be taking a nice chunk out of its HP because of rocks, and Mike is going to stay in, go for the Roost because he can take pretty much any hit unless he flinches like 5 million times with Waterfall. But he doesn't set up a DD because he knows he couldn't possibly whirlwind him out, and right there he gets a flinch on Skarmory, which pretty much really doesn't matter because it'll take maybe like 4 or 5 more turns to kill him off. So Skarmory is just gonna Roost because it can go back up to Sturdy, and Sturdy can help, if someone's gonna go for like a super effective Thunderbolt right here. Yeah, so I think that takes Skarmory down to Sturdy range with 1 HP, and he's just gonna Whirlwind him out because it doesn't, well, Mike pretty much doesn't like that matchup with an electric type versus a Skarmory. So he's gonna phase him out into a Heatran, and Skarmory is slower than pretty much anything on his team other than that Ampharos, so he's just gonna leave him in for death fodder. It did its job. It set up his rocks and 1 layers of spikes, I think, and that's enough work, of course. So he's gonna switch out because Heatran can't do anything to Snorlax. Like I said, he goes into his Crobat, goes for the Body Slam, hoping for a para, but doesn't get it again, which is unfortunate because I think if Crobat was paralyzed, then Snorlax would be able to outspeed it. But I don't know. It didn't happen. So it's going to be a double down because of Brave Bird recoil, and Brave Bird took out Snorlax. So 1201 is going to go into his Ampharos. Mike is going to go into his Mence. And he's just going to go for Earthquake. The 1201 dude could have went into his Gyarados because it flies, which it shouldn't. But it does anyway. So he could have went into that, but then he would have taken Rock's damage, which I pretty much think he wouldn't want that. So Mike is going to switch out because he has that -1 drop because of Intimidate. So he goes into his Azelf because its purpose right now is to be a death fodder. If Stone Edge missed, then he could have gotten like one hit off or something. But his Skarmory is going to go back in, and his opponent was predicting Sucker Punch. Mike goes for that. You know, he doesn't want to over predict or anything. And he's going to switch out because he can't do anything. Of course, dark types are resisted by Steel, which Heatran is. And he's just going to go back into his Mence because it resists the fire type move. And Flamethrower really doesn't do anything actually. Looking at its HP stat, I think that looks more like a bulky Mence. Maybe bulky DD. I don't know. I haven't seen the set yet. But he goes into his Kofagrigus because it is physically defensive, or it just has a very high physical defense. But Mummy activates that really doesn't, come into play at all because it only works when you switch in and out. So he's just going to go for a Dragon Claw, and because Kofagrigus is a defensive monster, it's not going to take anything from it, and it's his Mence is going to get burned from Will-O-Wisp. And that's going to be a crippled Mence because crippled Mence gets burned and gets its attack cut. So he's going to go into his Mightyena because he just wants to finish it off with a super effective Crunch or Dark type move. I think Mightyenas are more physical than special. I would think though. So he switches out, not wanting to take a Crunch, which Mike goes for right now, not wanting to over predict. And even though if he did over predict or under predict, well, even though he went for Crunch, Heatran would still take a very nice chunk of damage because of the hazards that are laid up. So he's gonna switch out, goes into his Mence again, not wanting to take another Fire Blast, which his opponent does go for. I don't think he has HP Ice, or I would think he doesn't because he's not going for it. The plays they're making are pretty, basic predictions. So Mike is going to go for an Earthquake because that is 4 times effective, and even though it's a burn Mence, it's going to die to that. And in comes his Gyarados after all these after turn effects. So Gyarados is going to take that 1/4 of HP from rocks, and from this range, even though he's Mence is burned and got a -1 attack drop, Dragon Claw is going to be able to finish it off, which I found kind of funny because of all those stat drops. So now he's going to go into his Kofagrigus, and I think he gets a crit on this Dragon Claw, which is going to speed up the pretty much everything just by 1 turn, I guess, because Dragon Claw could have been a 3-hit KO. But that's going to be the game. I hope you guys enjoyed this narration thingy. Mike is sick, like I said. So, yeah, leave a like. If you want to come check out my channel, I'll leave an annotation. Thumbs up this video if you want to. But yeah, I'll see my viewers on Wednesday. So, yeah, see you guys later, and aloha.